Okay guys, this is our last video notes for the chapter. Your test will be next Thursday and Friday. I will be back at school hopefully on Wednesday, and you guys will just be reviewing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then the test will be on Thursday and Friday. So make sure that you are up to date on your homework and you get everything done so that we don't fall too much farther behind. Okay, so today we're doing volume on pyramids and cones. If you did not do the notes from yesterday, the 7.4 with surface area and volumes of spheres, you need to do that before you complete these notes. Today, you guys will be able to know and understand how to find the volume of a pyramid and a cone. So this is what a pyramid looks like with a cube around it. Volume of a prism is base times height, or this would be technically a rectangular prism. The volume of a pyramid has to be less than the volume of the prism because there is all of this open space here, on these sides over here. And more than that because I can't draw it properly with a 3D figure. So, if we filled up the pyramid with water and emptied it into the prism, it would take 3 pyramids to fill up the whole entire prism. So that being said, the volume of the pyramid is 1/3 the volume of the prism. So when we go to our equation here, that is where the 1/3 comes from. So we have 1/3 times base times height. And B is the area of the base. So whatever your area is for a pyramid, you can obviously have a rectangle, you can have a square, you can have a triangle. We're not going to have you do like a pentagon or a hexagon or an octagon, but you can have those as well. H stands for the height of the solid. So for this, if you need to take out your area and perimeter cheat sheet from last chapter, I would suggest you take that out. Height goes from, make sure that you realize that our height is from the vertex where all of the sides meet to the base. Okay, it's not the slant height over here on our lateral faces. It is the height from the tip of the vertex to the bottom or to the base. So to find the volume of the pyramid, again, each pyramid is going to have a regular polygon, which means that, you either have a square, a rectangle, a triangle, which is what we will give to you for these questions. So, volume is 1/3 base, the area of the base, times the height. So the area of this base is a square. So to find the area of a square, we need to do 10 times 10, or 10 squared, however you want to write it. So what I'm going to do is, for the B part, I'm going to use parentheses, and I'm going to put in whatever numbers I need to use to find the area there. So 10 times 10, and then the height of this pyramid is 12. So you can just plug that whole thing into your calculator. Make sure that you are using parentheses. And for the 1/3, obviously, if you guys are using the fraction button on the yellow calculator, you can just plug in 1/3. But if you don't have the yellow calculator or don't know how to do that, please use parentheses. So plug that into your calculator and you would get 400. And again, because this is volume, we're doing centimeters cubed. For the next one, so the base of this is a right triangle. So make sure that you look at that. It's a right triangle, we know, because it has that right angle in the corner here. So the 8 and the 6 are what I'm going to be using for the base and the height. So I'm going to have 1/3. The area of a triangle for the base is 1/2 the base times the height. and then times the height of the solid itself. So again, you can plug that all into your calculator. You can use 0.5 for 1/2 and make sure to use parentheses there because with order of operations, you'll want to make sure that you are having the fractions correct. When you do that, you get the volume is 64 meters cubed. There are some word problems in here. Obviously, you can always have word problems when you're dealing with volume or surface area. The entrance to the Louvre Museum in Paris, France is a square pyramid with a height of 21.64 meters with sides that are 35.4 meters. What is the approximate value of the Louvre or volume of the Louvre pyramid to the nearest cubic meter? So that means we're going to have a whole number for the answer, which is fine. You can round at the end. So the height is 21.64, and then it is a square pyramid. So volume is 1/3 times the base, the area of the base, which would be 35.4. Ooh, and I put this on my answer key wrong. 35.4 times 35.4. And then times the height, which is 21.64. Let me get the answer to this here quick. So we have 1 divided by 3 times 35.4 times 35.4 in parentheses times 21.64, which is 9,039.46. 9,039.46, and because it asks us to round to the nearest cubic meter, we are going to round this down because 46, since it's not at 5 yet, we would just leave it as 9,039 meters cubed as our, or not, meters cubed as the answer. Oh, and I guess it's all written there for you. Okay, so then you guys, I want you to try the next two on your note page. Obviously, do not just watch what I'm doing here. Please actually do the problem. So pause the video and then try the next two, and then I will go over them. So for this one, our area of the base. The base is a triangle, so area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So we're going to have volume equals 1/3 times the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 times 3 times 4, base times height. And then we have the height of the figure itself, which is 8. Plug that all into your calculator and you would get 16 miles cubed. For the next one, this is a rectangular base. So to find the area of a rectangle, you just do length times width or base times height. So we're going to do 1/3 times the base, the area of the base, which is 7 times 9, times the height of the solid, which is 5. Plug that all in your calculator, you get 105 miles cubed. And again, volume is always units cubed. The next shape to look at is a cone. So we have a circle as our base. Volume of these types of figures are 1/3 base times height. The base of a cone is a circle, so we can, substitute that in here. Pi r squared is the area of a circle, so that it's a little easier for you guys. B is technically the area of the base. You can find the area of the base by doing an area of a circle. H is the height of the solid, and then R is the radius of the base. So to find the volume of a cone, we have volume equals 1/3 times pi. Our r is 9.5, so times pi r squared, and then times the height of the solid, which is 16.8. This is where you guys want to make sure that you're definitely using parentheses, so you do 1/3 times pi times 9.5 squared times 16.8 in your calculator, and you would get 1,587.76 millimeters cubed. The next one, you need to find the height of the cone first. So we do not know what the height of the cone is right now. We know what the slant height is, but we don't know what the height is. So we have to use the Pythagorean theorem here before we do anything. So you'd have, 6 squared plus h squared equals my hypotenuse, which is 10 squared. You can, 6 squared is 36, so subtract 36 from both sides. You would get h squared equals 64, and I need to take the square root of both sides, so h is 8. You already have your radius of 6, so just plug that all in. Volume equals 1/3 times pi times radius squared times the height, which is 8. Plug it in your calculator, you get 301.59 feet cubed. Want you guys to try the next 3, so go ahead and, or actually the next 2, go ahead and try those. The second one, you obviously have to find the height first. Please make sure to pause the video and actually try these, and don't just listen to what I'm saying until you try them. So the volume here is 1/3 times pi, because it is a cone, times r squared, which would be 3 squared, times the height, which is 8. Plug that into your calculator, you get 75.4. 75.4 yards cubed. Again, so all of these, we are giving you the radius. Obviously, if you have something that goes the whole diameter of the circle and say it's 12, you would need to divide that by 2 to find the radius. Okay, so make sure that you remember that. No matter what, you are going to have to find the radius if it's not given to you. For number 4, we're given the slant height of the cone, so we need to figure out what h is. So we can do that by doing the Pythagorean theorem. 9 squared plus h squared equals 41 squared. You can just plug, what you can plug in your calculator is 41 squared minus 9 squared. Please just don't do 41 minus 9. This will save you a little bit of time. And you get 1600. Then to get h by itself, you need to take the square root of both sides, and you get 40. So plug it into your volume equation for a cone. 1/3 times pi times r squared, which is 9, times the height, which is 40. You can plug all that in. You get 3,392.92 feet cubed. That is a point, not a comma. Okay. Then the last couple of questions is working backwards. Wonder why I can't erase that. Okay. Hopefully this turns out. So find the value of x. So we know that this is a cone, so the equation for this is 1/3 pi r squared times h. We have the volume and we have the height. We are looking for our r. So we have 135 equals 1/3 times pi times r squared times the height of 8. So what you can do is take your 1/3, your pi, and your 8 and multiply all those together in your calculator. The most important part here is that you do not round until the end. So my answer here was like, I left it as, 16.1144, and obviously that keeps on going on. So you can use the second answer button to keep that answer without, losing it, and use it in the next step. So to get r squared by itself, I need to divide both sides by that 16.114. Oh wait, I already did that. Shoot. Well, if I divided both sides, by the 1/3 times pi times 8, then I got the 16.1144, which again I didn't round until the end. So I need to get r by itself, and I take the square root of both sides, which then I can round in my final step, which was 4.01 meters for the radius. Okay, so for the second one, find the height of a square-based pyramid given that the volume is 6,600 feet cubed and the base edges are 11 feet. So volume of a pyramid is 1/3 b times h. So my volume is 6,600. My base is, the edges are 11 feet, so you'd have to do 11 times 11 and then get h by itself. So just do your basic math there. 11 times 11 is 121, and again, you can do it the easier way, which is right here by not dealing with fractions and just multiplying both sides by 3 to get rid of that 1/3. And then we would get approximately 163.6 feet for the height. The next 3 questions I want you guys to try. Obviously, if you're stuck, go ahead and continue listening, but please pause the video and try the next 3 questions. So for number 3, it's a cone, so our volume is 1/3 pi r squared times h. The volume of this cone is 170, and the radius we do not know, so we're going to leave that. And the height they gave us was 8. So again, if you, maybe divide by 8 pi on both sides first, which I did not do. Hold on a second. 170 divided by 8 pi. You leave that in your calculator, that answer, it's like 66.758, and obviously it keeps on going on. And then you'd have 1/3 times r squared. So to get rid of that fraction, you can multiply both sides by 3, and you'd get 200.27, and it keeps on going. Then take the square root of both sides, and this is where you can hit second square root and then hit second answer to get the radius of 14.15 centimeters. I do that right. Okay, scratch that. Okay, this answer was wrong because my order of operations in the calculator messed it up. Rookie mistake. That's why I use parentheses. Make sure to use parentheses. Okay, so I didn't put the parentheses around the 8 pi when I put it in my calculator, so it gave me that 66 number. So when you do that, you get 6.76 something, and that equals equals 1/3 times r squared. So to get r squared by itself, you multiply both sides by 3, and you get 20.29 with some decimals equals r squared. And then take the square root of both sides, and you get 4.5 centimeters. Then for the next one, the volume. So this is a pyramid, so 1/3 base times height. The base is a square, so you're going to do 13 times 13. We're looking for the height. 13 times 13, or just plug everything into your calculator. You get, oh, and I forgot to plug in the volume here. So we'd have 1521, and then 13 times 13 is 169. So you can either multiply that 169 by 1/3 or divide it by 3. And then you got 56.3 repeating h. Divide both sides by that 56.3 repeating. And again, use that answer button when you need to get a more exact answer. So I got 27 centimeters for the height. If you rounded like multiple times, you're obviously going to get a different answer than that because you weren't using exact numbers. Then for the last one, find the height of a circular cone given that the radius is 10 inches and the volume is 543 inches cubed. Do not round until the final answer. That's the most important part. Oh, shoot. Oh, gosh, my pen just broke. That's the most important part when you're doing math, is to round at the very, very end. Don't round 3 times. Round at the very end. Okay, so height or volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times h. They give us the volume, which is 543. They give us the radius, which is 10, and we're looking for the height. So again, you can divide both sides by 100 pi. So you're not dealing with fractions. 543 divided by, and make sure you use parentheses, 100 pi is 1.728. And that is, equals 1/3 h. So to get h by itself, you can multiply both sides by 3. And you get h is 5. Round to the nearest 10th place, so because it's 5.185, you'd round that 1 up to 2 because the second number is an 8. So it's 5.2 inches for the height. Once you finish up with the notes, make sure to get the homework from whoever is subbing for me today. Once you finish the homework, then upload the completed piece to Canvas, both sides, to get full points. It does have spheres on it, so for the spheres, for the 4 sphere problems, you are finding the surface area and the volume, because I didn't give you homework yesterday on that. So make sure that you complete all the problems, upload it to Canvas, and I will have a test review packet or page for you guys for Monday and Tuesday, and some activities to review for the test for next Thursday and Friday. Have a good weekend. See you guys later.